Welcome back to our channel, where we explore the most compelling true crime stories from around the globe. Today, we're diving into another tragic and heart-wrenching case. This is the tragic case of Keeley Bunker, a lively and spirited young woman stunned everyone who knew her when her life, filled with bright hopes and dreams, was brutally ended on a tragic night. Let's delve into who Keeley Bunker was and what events led to this tragedy. Keeley and Wesley had known each other for over 15 years, having grown up together and formed a long-lasting friendship. Keeley trusted Wesley implicitly. Keeley Bunker was born on September 7, 1999 in England. She was the second child of her parents, Christopher and Deborah. Unfortunately, her family eventually broke up and Keeley's parents decided to separate. This did not prevent Christopher and Deborah from maintaining a friendly relationship and continuing to be actively involved in raising their children. As a result, the children spent almost equal time with both parents. Relatives and friends describe Keeley as a kind and considerate young woman who loved children very much. Due to this passion, Keeley aspired to pursue a career in education. After graduating from high school, she took a break from her studies and started working as a waitress. Despite not having specialised education, Keeley continued to seek opportunities to work with children. In September 2019, just a few days after her 20th birthday, Keeley received a job offer as an assistant teacher at a local daycare centre. She and the manager scheduled an interview for September 19th. On September 18th, Keeley made plans with her friends to attend a concert and celebrate her belated birthday. Her friends included Monique, Keeley's best friend, and Wesley, a friend they had grown up with. Wesley didn't make it to the concert because he was late, so they agreed to meet up afterward and go to a party. At 10 p.m, they met outside the concert hall and headed to a local club. CCTV footage from the club recorded the moment the group went inside. This wasn't the only footage of them that evening. Videos later posted on social media showed Keeley and Wesley dancing, taken on one of the young men's cell phones. Additionally, another CCTV camera captured Keeley buying something from a vending machine. Several witnesses at the club reported that Keeley and her friends drank heavily throughout the night. The three of them reportedly left the club at 3 a.m. on September 19th, hailed a cab and drove to Monique's house. Arriving around 3:30 a.m, they all went up to Monique's apartment. While there, Monique asked Keeley if she wanted to stay the night, considering they had been drinking a lot and it wasn't safe to go home. Keeley replied that she needed to go home because she had a job interview the next day and needed to get some sleep and freshen up. Keeley also mentioned that Wesley, who lived nearby, would escort her, and she believed she would be safe with him. Monique decided to call Keeley in the morning to make sure she was awake and ready for her important job interview, knowing how much Keeley had dreamed of the position and not wanting her to oversleep. However, Monique couldn't reach Keeley as her cell phone was turned off. This was very unusual, as Keeley always carried her phone and kept it charged. Monique thought Keeley might not have made it home and stayed the night at Wesley's house. She texted Wesley, but he didn't respond, which made her increasingly worried. Monique then decided to call Wesley, and he answered. When she asked about Keeley's whereabouts, Wesley told her a suspicious story. He said that while they were walking to Keeley's house, he began to feel dizzy from the amount of alcohol he had consumed. Eventually, he felt so sick that he couldn't walk anymore. According to Wesley, they stopped at a phone booth a few blocks from Keeley's house, where he told Keeley they needed to separate. He claimed that Keeley agreed because she was very close to home and didn't think anything could happen to her. Before proceeding, I'd like to share an important message with everyone. We've been exerting our utmost effort to produce top-notch content on our channel. Despite our dedication over a considerable period, we're yet to reach our initial goal of 1,000 subscribers, with 97% of our viewers yet to subscribe. Therefore, we kindly ask you to consider subscribing to our channel if you enjoy our content. After hearing Wesley's story, Monique became very angry with him. She then decided to call Keeley's parents to check if Keeley had come home. Monique spoke with Keeley's mother and stepfather, but they said Keeley had not returned. Keeley's mother thought Keeley might have gone to her father's house, but they didn't want to bother him due to his health problems, so they decided to wait for a while. As noon approached and Keeley still hadn't shown up, she ended up missing the interview. Keeley had left her father's number as the secondary contact on her resume, so the daycare centre called him when she didn't show up for the interview. Keeley's father, unaware of her whereabouts, thought she might have been sick and called his ex-wife, and then Monique, to find out more. Monique shared everything she knew at that time. Keeley's father then called Wesley to question him further, but Wesley repeated the same story he had told Monique. With no other options, Keeley's parents and friends went to the police to report her missing. A missing person report was filed at 5 p.m. on the same day. Following this, family and friends launched their own search efforts and organised a small search party, with Wesley also joining in to help find any leads. The search primarily focused on the neighbourhood where Keeley and Wesley lived, where Wesley had last seen her alive. They also combed through a nearby forest and several park areas, but no traces or clues were discovered. Later that day, it came to light that earlier in the morning, people passing through a park had found a woman's bag. However, this discovery wasn't reported until the evening. It was confirmed that the bag belonged to Keeley, containing the dress she wore to the party, her ID, and a turned-off cell phone. This discovery shifted the search focus to the park where the bag was found. Meanwhile, the police decided to interview Wesley. He cooperated and agreed to accompany officers in a patrol car to retrace the route he and Keeley had taken home that night. While Wesley was with the police, Keeley's relatives continued their search efforts, thoroughly scouring the park and its surroundings. Around 9 p.m, Keeley's uncle discovered a body lying in a creek under a pile of branches. As he approached, he realised it was his niece and cried out, prompting the other men involved in the search to rush to the scene. The sight was heartbreaking for them, and when police officers arrived, they cordoned off the area and began their investigation. A forensic medical examination determined that Keeley's cause of death was strangulation, evidenced by bruises and marks on her neck. Some of these injuries were self-inflicted in an attempt to free herself from the assailant's grip. Additionally, it was found that she had been subjected to sexual assault. DNA samples were collected from the scene and sent to a lab for analysis. Meanwhile, Wesley was being questioned at the police station. By this point, he was considered the prime suspect since he was the last person known to have seen Keeley alive. The officers needed to gather crucial evidence and secure a confession from Wesley quickly, or they would have had to release him. Despite repeated questioning and attempts to confuse him, Wesley stuck to his original story that he and Keeley parted ways at 4 a.m, 2 blocks from her house. However, the police eventually obtained the necessary clues to arrest Wesley. Surveillance footage from the park entrance where Keeley's body was found provided critical evidence. Upon review, it clearly showed Wesley and Keeley entering the park at 4:20 a.m, confirming his presence at the scene. Upon learning of this video evidence, Wesley ceased cooperating with the police. Subsequently, investigators gathered additional evidence implicating Wesley in the crime. His bank card was discovered in the park, which police believed he had lost during the commission of the crime. Furthermore, several witnesses came forward stating they saw Wesley in the park around 10 a.m. According to them, he appeared to be walking aimlessly, looking distraught and agitated. As the police continued their investigation, Keeley's family and friends organised a farewell ceremony for her at a park near where her body was found. They placed photos, flowers and ribbons in pink, Keeley's favourite colour, as a tribute. Meanwhile, Wesley remained in police custody as the sole suspect. One day, Wesley provided a new version of events to the police. He acknowledged that he and Keeley had been in the park, stating they entered to walk around before heading home. Both had consumed alcohol and wanted to sober up before returning. Wesley described them playfully jumping around, chasing each other and throwing leaves. At one point, Wesley attempted to jump on Keeley's back, but misjudged his strength. As he landed on her, Keeley lost balance and rolled down an embankment in the park. Wesley admitted that upon realising what had happened, he became scared and panicked. He confessed to leaving Keeley's body where it was and walking away. He expressed feelings of guilt and deep love for Keeley, acknowledging the pain of unintentionally causing her death. However, Wesley's account did not align with the forensic evidence compiled by the medical examiner's office. At that time, the police had not yet disclosed the results of the DNA test to Wesley. These results showed that his DNA matched perfectly with the sample taken from Keeley's body. confirming his involvement in the sexual acts. During the subsequent interrogation where Wesley was informed of these findings, he changed his story once again. This time, he claimed that he and Keeley had engaged in a consensual intimate relationship. Wesley then confessed that during their intimate encounter, he placed his hand on Keeley's neck without realizing he was causing harm, which tragically led to her strangulation. He claimed shock at the outcome and admitted to hiding her body afterward. However, the police remained skeptical of his account. The case took a dramatic turn months after Wesley's arrest when several girls came forward alleging past incidents of violence by Wesley. These new accusations led to additional charges against him, spanning episodes in 2015, 2017 and 2019, in addition to the original charge of first-degree murder. After deliberation, the jury found Wesley guilty on all counts. He was sentenced to life in prison with the possibility of parole after 30 years. Additionally, the Q Crime Channel offers numerous other captivating cases for you to explore. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications to stay updated with Q Crime Story videos every day. Farewell for now, and we eagerly anticipate your presence in our future videos.